There is also evidence showing how the ancients were able to cut stone by harnessing the power of the sun and sound, by turning tuning forks into sonic drills using tools that were available in ancient times, a theory put forward by Professor Ivor Watkins. Is this why many Incas worship the sun, and why some of their remaining sites show signs of this? With new research into ancient megalithic sites across the world, we are finding out that acoustics were widely understood by the ancients, and was certainly taken into account when building stone structures. This relatively new line of archaeological research, known as archaeoacoustics, is observed in sites such as Stonehenge, England, Adam's Calendar, South Africa, Göbekli Tepe, Turkey, not to mention the Great Pyramid of Giza. They all share unquestionable acoustic properties that could well have amplified sound waves to vibrate fork tools at a constant pitch and allow the seemingly advanced method of stone cutting that has eluded historical researchers for so long. So, we know that Cymaman is famous for its remarkable large dry stone walls, with boulders carefully cut to fit together tightly without mortar, displaying a precision of fitting that is unmatched in the Americas, something that has puzzled scientists for many years. But there is another puzzle hidden in the stones of Cymaman. The angles of the stones, according to researcher Dr. Derek Cunningham, correspond to astronomical alignments. In an arrangement of stones in a wall at Cymaman, astronomical values can be found in the form of an angular array, offset to either above or below the horizontal, or the right or left of the vertical. Astronomical values can also be observed in the overhead layout of Cymaman. Despite the theory being developed only recently, to date many sites now show a striking ability to align to the exact same angular values. This includes the causeways located in front of the Great Pyramids of Giza, as well as the lines making up the body of the Atacama giant. What is most intriguing is that a complete new window may have been opened into the past. What's more, Cusco lines up with the Pyramids of Giza, and Cusco forms a perfect triangle with two other sacred sites in the area, Kenko and the Sacred Lake. We will get into why the triangle is significant later in the video. These next short clips taken from the revelation of the pyramids show the remarkable connection between Peru and the pyramids. Researchers testing acoustics think the designers arranged Cybele's temple in Serbia to take advantage of the mesmerizing sound and vibrations of water rushing underground nearby. Using what they call archaeoacoustics and electromagnetic sensors, researchers determined Cybele's temple was oriented to follow the direction of vibrations and very low-frequency sound emanating, they think, from the water flow. The researchers report that the designers of the temple took advantage of the sounds and vibrations to influence human brainwaves and enhance the psyche. The sounds are below the range of human hearing in the 18 to 20 Hz range. The sounds could be felt on organs on the skin, the researchers said. They wrote that sounds can have an awe or fear-inspiring effect, and these frequencies could have affected the psyche of the worshippers. This suggests the builders of this temple had some sort of knowledge of this effect. Our archaeoacoustic experience has shown that natural phenomena, ultrasound, infrasound, low-frequency sounds, can create a direct effect on the human mind without people necessarily understanding the reasons why they experience a particular emotional state in that place. The authors said there must be a logical explanation for the designers orienting the temples to follow the direction of the vibrations, especially since Cibella's temple doesn't follow the traditional east-west orientation of the rest of the buildings at Felix Romuliana and at other Roman complexes. They concluded, "It is reasonable to suppose that the Roman culture had knowledge of the effect of these vibrations on human brain activity, and it is a pity that only nowadays medical research begins again to recognize the relationship between sound and emotionality." According to one website, scientific examination of the world's key pyramid sites reveal them to be sophisticated harmonic structures, not only mirroring positions of the planets and stellar systems, but designed to mimic the chakras and harmonic cavities of the human body. The discoveries emerging from Egypt describe the existence of a worldwide pyramid temple system in prehistory, mounted like antennae on the key energy meridians, which were employed by ancient priest scientists as a musical system to stabilize the tectonic plate of the planet. Each stone within the Great Pyramid is harmonically tuned to a specific frequency or musical tone. The sarcophagus in the center of the Great Pyramid is tuned to the frequency of the human heartbeat. Experiments conducted by Dr. Hurtak and colleagues at the Great Pyramid and other sites in South America demonstrate the pyramids to be voice-activated geophysical computers. Intoning specific ancient sounds, the scientific team produced visible standing waves of light above and within the pyramids and were even able to penetrate hitherto inaccessible chambers. Subsequent discoveries indicate the ancient priest scientists employed some sort of harmonic sound technology within the temple structures. I highly recommend you watch the video, link is provided below, called The Revelation of the Pyramids. I find it interesting that they show the comparisons in this video of large buildings of today and how we would need much longer to do a similar feat, but with many more tools. And this relates, as far as I'm concerned, to the Mandela effect today. Many of the MEs are of technology that is apparently more advanced in this reality than that of our old reality. Is ME steering us back to that technology and those abilities that it took us to build the pyramids or Sacsayhuaman? Just a thought. Also, within the video, there might just be another Mandela effect that the narrator didn't realize. The narrator did realize something was going on, but of course there was no mention of Mandela effect. At 54:39 in The Revelation of the Pyramids, the narrator is taken to examine the pyramidion, the small pyramid capstone belonging to the Red Pyramid of Snefru. She then goes on to explain that when she later returned, it had changed. The shape and the dimensions had changed. It was 1 meter high before it was changed, which was the benchmark for the claim that the Egyptians had knowledge of the metric system, which did not exist at that time. After a search for images, however, I believe I found residue of the old pyramidion. However, upon further research, I discovered that the new version is now being labelled as a reconstruction, but it does not explain why it is different, nor does it explain why the original documentary does not mention that fact. This was in 2008. There was no explanation given as to how or why it had changed. Could this be one of the first reported MEs? Watch the video. The video was uploaded in August 2016, which is after the Mandela effect was made known. Another anomaly occurred with me as I was researching the video and making notes in Google Docs. The Vitruvian Man came up in the video and I wanted to check something, so I Googled it. And to all you trolls out there, I was not mistaken. I know what I saw. As I started to type in Vitruvian, Google suggested woman to me, Vitruvian woman. So I had the first word typed in, Vitruvian, and then the first suggestion was woman. And even the word man didn't come up in this suggestion. I found this strange at the time, but as I'm no stranger to weird things happening whilst researching, I followed the suggestion anyway. I discovered a whole page of images on the Vitruvian Woman by Da Vinci. It sent me reeling, of course, because I knew it didn't exist. I even made a note of it in capital letters within my research document, along with a string of question marks. A couple of days later, I then spoke to a friend on the phone and told her about it. She then searched while she was on the phone to me, and she said, "There's nothing there. I can't find anything on the Vitruvian Woman by Da Vinci." I was like, what? So I looked myself. Not only had all the images gone, but also the Google suggestion of Vitruvian Woman no longer came up. It was like it had never existed. The question is, I've thought about this since it happened. Had I shifted momentarily to get a glimpse of a reality where the Vitruvian Woman by Da Vinci does indeed exist? All I know is, for this short moment of time, it was there, and even my notes on it had remained in the research document. Not only are many stone circles astronomical observatories, but there is also evidence showing that they are tapping into Mother Nature and generating electromagnetic energy. People who visit ancient temples and megalithic sites often describe a change in their awareness. The standard explanation is that such feelings are nothing more than a wow factor, the result of visual stimuli from the overwhelming impression generated by megalithic constructions such as stone circles, ancient temples and pyramids. But the cumulative evidence proves otherwise, that megaliths and other ancient sacred places are actually attracting, storing, even generating their own energy field, creating the kind of environment where one can enter an altered state of consciousness. In 1983, a comprehensive study was undertaken by engineer Charles Brooker to locate magnetism in sacred sites. The test subject was the Rollright Stone Circle in England. A magnetometer survey of the site revealed how a band of magnetic force is attracted into the stone circle through a narrow gap of stones that acts as the entrance. The band then spirals towards the center of the circle, as though descending down a rabbit hole. Haha, I know all about rabbit holes. Two of the circle's western stones were also found to pulsate with concentric rings of alternating current, resembling ripples in a pond. The analysis led Brooker to state how, quote, the average intensity of the geomagnetic field within the circle was significantly lower than that measured outside, as if the stones acted as a shield, unquote. At the Temple of Edfu in Egypt, there is a wall featuring what amounts to a recipe for establishing a space that differs energetically from its surrounding landscape, a temple. The instructions on the wall describe how certain creator gods first established a mound and pierced a serpent to the spot, whereupon a special force of nature impregnated the mound, which led to the construction of the physical temple. The symbol of the serpent has always been a culturally shared metaphor of the Earth's meandering lines of force, what scientists refer to as telluric currents. It seems ancient architects had a fine degree of control of the laws of nature, because a recent study of energy fields in and around Avebury, the world's largest stone circle, shows how its megaliths are designed to attract a ground current into the site. Electrodes planted at Avebury reveal how its circular ditch breaks the transmission of telluric ground current and conducts electricity into the ditch, in effect concentrating energy and releasing it at the entrance to the site, sometimes at double the rate of the surrounding land. Magnetic readings at Avebury die away at night to a far greater level than can be accounted for under natural circumstances. They charge back at sunrise, with the ground telluric current from the surrounding land attracted to the henge, just as magnetic fluctuations of the site reach their maximum. Studies conducted by the late physicist John Berg also discovered how the stones of Avebury are deliberately placed and aligned so as to focus electromagnetic currents to flow in a premeditated direction using an identical principle to modern atomic particle colliders, in which airborne ions are steered in one direction. The effect of sacred sites behaving like concentrators of electromagnetic energy is enhanced by the choice of stone. Often moved across enormous distance, the stone used in megalithic sites contains substantial amounts of magnetite. The combination makes temples behave like weak, albeit huge, magnets. In an environment where geomagnetic field intensity is decreased, people are known to experience psychic and shamanic states. An exhaustive investigation into the Carnac region of France, where some 80,000 megaliths are concentrated, reveals a similar spiritual technology at work. At first, the leading researcher, electrical engineer Pierre Merot, was skeptical that megalithic sites possessed any special powers. Merot's study of Carnac shows how its dolmens amplify and release telluric energy throughout the day, with the strongest readings occurring at dawn. A telluric current, from Latin tellus, meaning earth, or earth current, is an electric current which moves underground or through the sea. The voltage and magnetic variations are related and follow a phenomenon known as electric induction. According to Merot, the dolmen behaves as a coil or solenoid in which currents are induced, provoked by the variations, weaker or stronger, of the surrounding magnetic field. But these phenomena are not produced with any intensity unless the dolmen is constructed with crystalline rocks rich in quartz, such as granite. His readings of menhirs reveal an energy that pulsates at regular intervals at the base, positively and negatively charged, up to 36 feet from these upright monoliths, some of which still show carvings of serpents. And there we have the serpents again. Extreme pulsations recycle approximately every 70 minutes, showing that the menhirs charge and discharge regularly. Merot also noticed how the voltage of standing stones in the Grand Menec alignment diminished the farther away they lay from the stone circle, which itself behaved as a kind of condenser or concentrator of energy. The composition of the stones and their ability to conduct energy was not lost on Merot and others. Being very high in quartz, the specially chosen rocks are piezoelectric, which is to say, they generate electricity when compressed or subjected to vibrations. The megaliths of Carnac, positioned as they are upon 31 fractures of the most active earthquake zone in France, are in a constant state of vibration, making the stones electromagnetically active. It demonstrates that the menhirs were not planted on this location by chance, particularly as they were transported from 60 miles, 97 kilometers away, because their presence and orientation is in direct relationship to terrestrial magnetism.